Welcome to Mainland, your local regional television station. I'm Tanya Roma, and some of the stories coming up in our Nelson Tasman Regional News Roundup: Lucky Lotto lucked out, suspicious house explosion, and more. Nelson's Richmond Night and Day store is continuing its run as one of the luckiest lotto shops in the country, based on the amount of First Division winners. However, the Lotteries Commission has released figures that show the store has dropped from second luckiest to third luckiest nationwide. It named Hastings Uniken Stortford Lodge Pharmacy as the country's luckiest lotto store, selling 39 First Division winning tickets over the years. The Commission has named Pack and Save Riccarton in Christchurch second luckiest, selling 30 First Division winning tickets. However, it named local store Richmond Night and Day as third luckiest with 29 First Division wins. But is it? Chrissy Small spoke to store co-owner David Smolensky this week about the new status.
Dave, I've just purchased my lucky lotto ticket. Do you think I'm in with a good chance to win?
Yeah, I think you're in a very good chance to win. Yeah, why not?
Well, you guys seem to be the luckiest shop in the region, and you know, even though the figures have just come out to say that you've gone from number 2 down to number 3, that's not quite true, is it?
Well, I don't believe it to be true, because it said I had 29 First Divisions, yet if you look up there and you see all my trophies, there's 32 of them. So I've emailed them and asked them where they got their facts from, because I asked them not long ago what their
criteria?
Yeah, well, no, all their results and where I actually stood, so that if I was going to promote my shop like I do, number 2 was my placing. So yeah, interesting, and we'll find out what it comes from that email that I sent.
Well, it's a bit of a worry, because they're dealing with figures all the time, and if they can't count...
You're not wrong. I mean, it would be interesting. I mean, yes, the store, as it is sold probably 29, but then there were 3 prior to that when it was a Super 7. But, yeah, I mean, it's still 32 from this site alone. So,
how many years has there been a lotto counter here?
Well, my family would have owned it for, what's this year, 23 years. And it was here 2 years prior to that, probably. So 25 years there's been a lotto store on this corner.
Quarter of a century is a long time, isn't it? To see a few winners go through there.
Yeah, to see a lot of things go through here. The malls come about. My kids weren't here, now going to be 18 in a couple of weeks. It's pretty scary stuff.
It certainly is, especially when they grow older, I tell you, they don't get cheaper. But now, Dave, okay, so the winners, you must have seen some very happy people over these last 23 years.
And it doesn't even have to be the biggest winners. You know, anybody that wins a few $100s gets very excited, and we've changed a lot of people's lives with all of the First Divisions that we've sold. To be honest, though, we sell them. We give them we fill in their forms. They go away and do their thing. I couldn't tell you what they do with their lives after that. So I'd hope that it's all changed for the better. It's not like they give us a running report on how their life's going, but I would expect that there's a lot of wise people and they've done a lot of good things. You would hope so.
Now, do you recognise any of the winners coming back and buying tickets?
Yeah, every week.
So, look, Dave, tell me, do they bring you a bottle of champers when they win or anything like that?
There's been the odd little thing, odd treat. But no, we don't expect anything. We're here to try and make people lucky. They're here to try and make me lucky. It works both ways. I want to sell winners and they want to buy winners. So.
Now, Dave, you're a dairy. You fulfil a service here for the community. And tell me, is it financially viable for you to have a lottery shop here?
Oh yeah, for us, for sure. Absolutely. I mean, we've pushed this. My parents before me, when they owned the business and when I was working for them, we pushed it. You know, most of the money that's gone into lotto, everybody thinks, everybody else gets, but the community gets it one way or another through prizes, through, charitable trusts, and that's why lotto was set up. We contribute to that. Every player that plays lotto contributes to that. And if you think, it goes to the lotto retailers. Well, it comes to me, yes, but that goes to my staff, as wages and all those, and all the things that I buy around here and all that. It all goes back to the community in one way or another.
Well, the fixtures aren't cheap, are they? And, the thing is, Dave, when you have a lottery going on here, it must draw more people in, and especially because there's that whole good luck aspect to it as well.
And we've, really pushed when we've had good luck. We've told everybody about it, and we want to sell more winners. We want people to come in and buy their ticket and try and find that luck that we've given out before. And every week somebody seems to win something. It may not be thousands or hundred, but just the other day there was 2 prizes of $700 that a couple of you had, and that was something that they didn't have the day before, so they would have walked off quite happy. We're very lucky, just for the pure fact we promote it. We want to sell winners, and we'll look after you. If you come to us, we know what we're talking about, basically.
Yeah. Now, Dave, the scratchies are a different thing, of course, but are you lucky on those as well?
I want to be luckier. We haven't sold too many prizes. We've sold about 6, 7 top prizes on those Instant Kiwis. We do sell quite a few a week. I mean, every week we're paying out probably about $8,000 in prizes on Instant Kiwis alone. And there's plenty of those. You just have to look at our little winners board here. There's hundreds, $50. The other week we had probably 3 or 4 $500 winners. So there's plenty of those that go out every week, because Lotto did change that up so that there were more winners more often, and when you did win you won a bigger prize, and that's worked. There's been a lot more winners, so
Their funding's dropped. They say they don't have so much to give away to community groups this year.
Yeah, but you see, that's just somebody speaking through honest figures, because Lotto give out a percentage of what they sell. If sales are down, well then they can't give as much, and the reason that sales are down is because they had no big jackpot runs. Powerball went to 22 million on Saturday. Sales went up, okay, and that was the first time it's got to 22 million in a long time. So we had a year where there was up to 20 million, up to 20 million again, up to 20 million again, and Big Wednesday was jackpotting at the same time. So there was a lot of people buying tickets, a lot of sales, therefore a lot more money to give out to the community. And just in recent years, the Powerball jackpot hasn't jackpotted. It's been 7 million down to 4, 7 million down to 4. So there's never been the big one like we just had. You have a few more of those, sales will be up, and back to the money back to the community will be up again.
What's the biggest win that you've seen here at the store?
8 million. Somebody won Powerball and it was 7.5 million plus their Lotto win. It was just over 8.2 million, something like that.
Do you think we're getting a bit greedier, that we're not kind of buying weekly and we're just waiting for those big jackpots now?
No. I mean, it's all relative. I mean, I would only suggest that people buy a ticket if they can afford to not have that money in their pocket. If you spend too much, well, then you're overspending. And if you can't afford it, well, don't do it. But, I mean, Lotto gives you plenty of different options now. They're $4.80 lucky dip. So you could buy $9.60 and that covers you for both draws. You can build a dip, which costs only $2.40. You can spend $4.80 on both draws. So there's ways around it. But, people do wait. Once it's 10 million, that's when people tend to buy more tickets. It used to be 5 million and people would be lining up out the door. Now it's 10 million plus. So
values have changed in a sense.
Yeah. But I mean, society's changed, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, a house used to be worth $300,000, was a bloody nice house. You try and find a $300,000 house now, you'd be struggling.
Card box in the middle of the road, I think.
Well, yeah. I mean, sections cost almost $300,000 now. So the world's changed. Crazy place.
We asked people in Nelson if they bought their lotto tickets from any particular lucky lotto store.
Nelson has the 3rd luckiest lotto shop in the country. Would you go out of your way to buy tickets at a lucky shop?
Not necessarily.
I haven't actually bought a lotto ticket. I would rather save my money, to be honest. That's just what I think. The luck of winning could be next to nothing, or could be 1 in 2,000, or it depends. I mean, where you are, or So.
No.
Why not?
Because I don't buy tickets.
Well, I never buy lotto tickets, so no, I probably wouldn't.
I would. Yep. Yes.
Heritage Week is on and features some interesting stories about some iconic people who have lived in our community. One of these is well-known and loved artist, the late Jane Evans. I caught up with Jane's brother Bill in the cottage she called home in the 3 months before her death in June 2012.
Well, Bill, it's wonderful getting a sense of Jane and her work. by being able to go through the cottage. It's lovely. How are you finding the Heritage Week and the visitors, the response?
Well, I'm quite amazed at who has turned up. Yes, I did. The people are interested, and it's really great to see them.
What sort of a reaction are you getting?
Oh, positive. I can't keep up. Unfortunately, I've got Bill Unwin here to help me, and he's very good at meeting people and talking and explaining what is what.
And what was it like growing up with Jane?
Well, she was special, as she says in the John Reed film. She felt special, and she was special because she was this plump little, bubbly little baby, as it was to begin with. We used to call her Podgy Tubby Fibber Quizzy Evans. And she was bouncing around, all of good cheer from the word go. Yes. She was fun to have with us, even though we were older.
When did the family notice that Jane had an ability to paint?
Well, I think Jane picked up on that herself when she was at Nelson Girls. Her art teacher put her into the secondary school's competition without telling her, and then when she read that she'd won the award, it was just she thought this couldn't be, but in actual fact it was, and she started to realise that, as she said in her film, John Reed film, she first realised people it wasn't just her amusement, that they were enjoying what she did. And actually in this cottage, some of them might not be recognised by others, but I go around one to one and I'm just amazed. Each one tends to speak to you, and every one is personal. You say, well, what was she thinking now when she did this? You know, it's really...
And did you have insight into some of her thinking around some of her artwork?
No, I stepped pretty well clear of her artwork. I photographed the last 10 years after I came back from overseas. I photographed her work that she did in the last 10 years of her life. And so I've got a good record of that. But I was never interested in art, and I let her bubble along in her way. But we kept in touch all the time, mostly when other people weren't around, and that.
So her talent was recognised at school. It's obviously recognised locally and nationally. Did she have like a marketing strategy to get recognised, or did it come to her?
She did it rather differently. She marketed direct a lot. She did use the galleries occasionally, but she found that could be difficult for all of the artists marketing through galleries at times.
So how did she, when you say she marketed direct, what does that involve?
Well, some people would come and stay here, and they'd be taken with not only with her art, but with her, and they'd say, oh, I'd like one of these works, and so there was a ready stale there, and people would lined up pretty well a lot of the time to buy from her.
How did living in Nelson influence Jane in her artwork?
Well, I can't really say myself, but she enjoyed the surroundings, as we all did. We all appreciated Nelson as being a pretty unique place, and my brother and I had been in London and in England during the Second World War, and the bombing had affected the house we're in, people around us, so coming here, and my father was born in Dunedin, and so coming back to New Zealand after the Second World War. Jane was born in the year after the war finished. And so we all appreciated Nelson, the Sleepy Hollow it was then, and look what we've got now. It's still pretty good.
Do you think she was thinking about people who would view her art, or was she? Yeah, what was inspiring her, do you think?
Just the sheer beauty, because you see, she did so many she started on children, and then when she got sick, she did a number of these characters, which I think are outstanding. The more now I see of them, these ones of older people, and I just think it's just fantastic work that she did then. And then she went on to do nudes, and she did a whole range, did a little sculpture, did the lithographs in Chagall's style, who she was really taken with. And it was the fun of those that she put in. She was a positive, fun person. A little bit of mischief there. And so she showed that in her art.
Medical cannabis has become a serious issue around the country and was brought to light through the battle of getting medical marijuana by mother Rose Renton for her son Alex, approved by Associate Health Minister Peter Dunn last year. MP for Tasman, Damien O'Connor, has just lodged a members' bill in Parliament to make it easier for patients like the late Alex Renton to access medicinal cannabis products. Damien O'Connor supported Alex Renton's family in their quest to get approval for medicinal cannabis in a hope it could improve his desperate situation. He said the current system is too bureaucratic and it is unclear where the final approval lies. O'Connor's bill makes the approval process simpler but has appropriate safeguards. He said the key change is that the minister must not prevent the supply and administration of processed cannabis products to a person considered by a registered medical practitioner to be either in the final stages of a terminal illness or have a permanent condition that causes significant pain or impairment. This is a members' bill he hopes will progress the issue and, if drawn, will enable Parliament to properly consider the value of access to medicinal cannabis. Change, the Tasman MP said, is supported by the majority of New Zealanders. Emergency services responded to a large explosion on Princess Drive property late on Tuesday afternoon. The police and fire service responded to the call-out around 5:30 p.m. 2 men suffered burns in the explosion and had made their own way to hospital for treatment before the ambulance service had arrived. Mainland understands the explosion occurred inside the home. One man was later discharged while the other was still hospitalised and in a stable condition on Wednesday. A warning is out to people using social media that your actions online are not above the law, after Nelson Police prosecuted a local man this week under the new Harmful Digital Communications Act 2015, brought into law last July. On Monday in the Nelson District Court, 28-year-old Aaron Stephen Tamihana was sentenced to 11 months jail after sending a disturbing video to a woman via Facebook. Detective Senior Sergeant Craig Johnston said the legislation recognised the harm being caused to people through new digital communications, such as email, social media, internet posting and texting. He said the sentence handed down to Tamihana yesterday sent a very clear message that the justice system took this kind of offending extremely seriously. Offences of this kind are punishable by up to 2 years imprisonment or a $50,000 fine. Detective Senior Sergeant Johnston said people need to think very seriously about what they are posting in any digital media forum, and if the intention is to cause harm to another person, the consequences could be very serious. He said people need to take the message the judge has sent in this case very seriously, as their use of social networks and electronic communications could land them in a lot of trouble. Tasman country music artist Ali Cook is following on from her Australian Top 40 Country Track's chart #1 hit Midnight Cowboys and is releasing her third single from her second album Horseshoe Rodeo Hotel, Message in a Cloud. We leave you now with her new single, filmed in its entirety only 2 weeks ago on the edge of the Kahurangi National Park.
Here comes the rain passing through. Mountain mist rendezvous. Like teardrops from the heart, the sun will always play a part. And the sky rolls away to make it new. Have you ever seen a message in a cloud? Little note from heaven speaking loud. You may see the shape of things to come by using your imagination. It may move to look like a country on the face of someone that you know. It ain't gonna stay, it's always gonna fade away, just like we all do anyway. Have you ever seen a message in a cloud? Like a little note from heaven speaking loud. You may see the shape of things to come by using your imagination. Did you ever think you saw a smiling face? Or a UFO out in space? A gazelle leaping by, or a giant butterfly in the sky looking like Chantilly lace? Have you ever seen a message in a cloud? Like a little note from heaven speaking loud. You may see the shape of things to come by using your imagination. You ever seen a message in a cloud? Like a little note from heaven speaking loud. You may see the shape of things to come by using your imagination.
After the break, we'll bring you the latest weather update and some events and happenings coming up from around the region.
Hi there, Julian Toon, Waimea Telecommunications. We install and maintain domestic and commercial satellite TV, UHF Freeview and Mainland TV installations in the Nelson, Tasman regions. We specialise in Panasonic telephone systems and provide communications, Wi-Fi, IT and wiring for internet, fibre, computers and DSL systems. At Waimea Telecommunications, we also provide specialist electronic systems for features such as a security camera you can watch on your TV, visitor alert systems and much more. Improve your security and communication and entertainment today. Call us on Waimea Telecommunications on 021 472297. ytel.co.nz.
Why would you want to pay as much as $1,000 for a single bed mattress when you can buy a high quality locally made mattress like this for as little as $220? And a queen size mattress could cost you in excess of $3,000, but at Nelson Beds you could have a mattress like this as low as $425. So why would you go out and spend a fortune on your child's bedroom when you can come to Nelson Beds and buy a complete single mattress and base set, a 7-drawer Scotch chest, a headboard and a 3-drawer bedside cabinet for as little as $979? So call and discuss our custom manufacturing options and local after sales service at Nelson Beds, Nelson's only bedding manufacturer.
Welcome to Smugglers Pub and Cafe, open 7 days a week with free parking all day. Our lunch menus have that fat old-fashioned flavour where we treat you like treasure with the food you'll savour.
We cater for children, grannies and granddads too, with special rates and privileges given to the elderly lunchtime crew. Our staff are friendly and kind and want to see you all come back time after time.
Daytime or evening, it doesn't matter. Give us a call on 546 4084 and we'll be happy to spoil ya.
Are you looking for a scooter, walker, wheelchair, baby seats or pushchairs? Then come in and see the Nelson Region Specialist at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library. We have a huge selection of scooters, walkers, wheelchairs and accessories, along with a free booklet guide. We also provide a breakdown service if you ever get a puncture or a flat battery. We have fully equipped service vans to rescue you. Hi, I'm Robin Jordan and I invite you to call in and see the friendly team at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library.
We're the team at JCar, right here in Nelson, 120 Hardy Street. Our shop is full of electronic items,
including security alarm systems, electronic components,
solar and power,
electronics toys,
sound systems, cables and much, much more. JCar.
120 Hardy Street, Nelson.
Sit and Be Fit is on at the Victory Community Centre Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. at the Victory Community Church, 238 Upper Vanguard Street. School terms only. Fun while you get fitter, work at your level.
Victory 60 Plus is on Tuesdays at 1:30 through to 3:30 p.m. at 238 Upper Vanguard Street. You can join in for cards, games and a cuppa.
On behalf of the team here at Mainland Television News, thank you for joining us.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
World War I was a defining period in our history, impacting greatly on the lives of people from the Nelson province. Memories of the First World War is an exhibition which will be displayed in a number of regional venues and is currently on at the Nelson Provincial Museum.
We're the team at JCar, right here in Nelson, 120 Hardy Street. Our shop is full of electronic items,
including security alarm systems, electronic components,
solar and power,
electronics toys,
sound systems, cables, and much, much more. Jacob.
120 Hardy Street, Nelson.
Nelson Tire Center. Great prices, great service. Buy your own Bryford trailer. All types, all sizes. See Colin Douglas for your tires and batteries.